Good afternoon and welcome to the Sir David Wallace Sports Hall. The season started in October, it's now the end of April and our Women's National Cup Final and Men's National Cup Finals are up for grabs. The defending champions, the Mallery Eagles, trying to hold on to their title against the undefeated Durham Palatinates. Mike Hunter-Rice, delighted to be joined by someone who would much rather be on court, but we're delighted to have him back, the head coach of the Essex Rebels and the England Under-16 head coach Alex Chinnery. Chinners, it's been a great season of volleyball on the indoor seat. There's so much going on in the women's game, and this is a fitting occasion for both these teams to close out the season.
Yeah, I feel like just reflected on where we were 12 months ago to where we are now, new home for volleyball women here at Loughborough. Things have progressed on, and yeah, it's been a really, really good season to get there. There's been some great play. I thought the quality at Final Four was outstanding. And now we've got some really, really good games today and hopefully a cracker here to finish. Yeah,
we do have the under-16 girls away to the other court. Richmond just won set one of that. We'll talk about that throughout the day. But this is a really intriguing matchup. This is the matchup we saw at the semi-finals, Final Four. But both these teams have a huge amount of pressure for differing reasons. Durham, undefeated season on the line. Apart from the opening day, they've basically been perfect. Mallery fell flat at Final Four, didn't go home with a medal. We know the winners on this squad. So they almost coming in feeling like they've got to rescue a season. So for you, who's going to have that more pressure this afternoon?
I think the pressure's on Durham, right? They're going out to try and do something historic. They've not lost all year. If Mallery can build some pressure in this game, get ahead, get a lead, will that start to play on the minds of this Durham team? I don't know. I mean, we took a set off them to 14 in the final and they responded and just completely blew us away afterwards. So, you know, this Durham team is super strong mentally, and I think for Mallery, they have to start well. If they don't start well, then that pressure's really going to start creeping in.
Yeah, I know we want to talk about set one in a minute, but that Final Four, yes, it was 3-0 Durham, but it wasn't a straightforward 3-0. Mallery led in set one. Set three went down the straight. It was 23, 22, 23. So there is a little bit of confidence there for Mallery that just a couple of tweaks here and there, it's not like you have to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah, but that's been the problem against this Durham team all year. When they get to the 20s, they're unbeatable. They are so good in the 20s. They don't make mistakes. They just know exactly where and how to play in those clutch moments. And it's a really clutch team. Chloe Thomas has been the most clutch player in the league all year, and no one has been able to stop her yet.
Right, we're going to take a walk. We're going to down to the Durham end of the court and we'll talk about this undefeated Durham team, Alex. They've, as you said, they've been almost perfect this year. Dropped 2 points effectively. One was opening day, one was in the National Cup semi-final against Sideout, but they did it without two middles. So now we know Niara Hightower's back. Elizabeth Schrader still out hurt for Durham. So obviously they've been kind of recapping that, but they are just so efficient, and the thing that everyone's talked about, depth. And that's what makes this team different. They've got ways to change it off the bench. We saw Izzy Decker come in that final and completely change the game.
Yeah, I think that's the hardest thing to game plan against. You know, they just have so many different options that they can go to. If something's not working with the outsides, they can shift and change, adjust their game plan really, really well. And that's what worked against us. We started to get some service pressure against the outsides that were on the court. They bring Izzy Decker in, who's the best passer in the league, and she makes a massive difference from there. We suddenly can't get any service pressure again.
Yeah, so let's break down this Durham team. You know them well, I've seen them a lot this season. We talked about the undefeated season. We're going to start with the middles. We talked about it a little bit. Niara Hightower back in the lineup for Durham wearing number one. She makes an impact, but really her impact isn't just on court. She is this energy bunny for this team. She's the vocal one, and in moments where they're flat, she's the first one to respond.
Yeah, I mean, I think she hasn't set the world alight numbers-wise this season. But as you say, it's that energy that she brings that is just outstanding and makes this team a real force to play against.
And then down the other middle, we know Mariana Payne and Raylene Jones have done a job filling in. Raylene Jones was the one that got the nod at Final Four. She was exceptional. But the versatility she's brought, because Durham have done a really good job. Credit Ross Enfield, Paul Welsh in terms of game planning on that. They've been able to, yes, use a quick tempo down the middle, but at the same time, they've sped it up and then moved it out to the right side as well, but not in a traditional slide context either. And that's really given their offense an extra bit of flavour.
Yeah, I mean, she gets so high and she hits the ball from such a high point that it becomes really tough for anyone to really play great defense against her. She's so good at picking out the space. seeing over the top of the block and seeing where to swing and taking the easy option to score the point. That's been really the toughest thing. We're playing against her in Bucks final as well. She's so good at just getting above our middle blockers, finding that deep swing, the swing that's going to help her score, and just done a really good job of it the whole time.
And then the outsides, they've been able to mix it up. We've already mentioned it, but Izzy Decker came in. Jefferson didn't start the season with his teams come in, and then the captain, Ali Ruffin, holding it down. They all score and play in slightly different ways, but as a collaborative unit, that's been the strength. They've been able to step in, cover some weaknesses, help each other out, but their consistency across the season has been what's impressive. Like, they're just rock solid, and they're not going to beat themselves.
Yeah, there's no service target against this passing unit. They're just all super solid. For me though, they look at their best when Decker's in the game. When Decker's in, and you've got Decker and McCullough as the passing combo, it's impossible to game plan against. You get good luck picking where to serve. Usually on the one that isn't those two is the only option you have. And the other outsides are all great passes as well. That makes it so hard to bring service pressure, so hard to set your block up, and really hard to beat this team because you can't get break points against them.
Yeah, it's rock solid. And then obviously we know the impact Chloe Thomas. We could talk all day about her impact. We knew coming in she was going to be explosive, but she didn't set the world alight early in the year. The early rounds of National Cup against some low-level opposition, she was just okay. But the last 2 months of the season, she's gone above and beyond. The way she utilises the block, the way she can sometimes go over the block, but then the angle she's able to take just puts so much pressure on the defence.
Yeah, just got great court vision, and that ability to know the context, know the moment, know where to swing, know how to beat a team, being able to hold that information in her brain, I think is a really big thing for this team, this Durham team. Chloe's also a really good defender. It's underrated how good of a defender she is as well. You can't play on her when she's in the back row, and that means you can't keep her out of the front row for a long time. Durham have done a really good job of sliding out when she's not in the front row, and I think it's really impressive to see just the way that they've played this year with Chloe Thomas. They've used her perfectly.
And then the person holding it together, I think I said this to Jess in the week off the podcast, maybe the person that we've talked about the least on this Durham team all season, but she's been the glue. Elena Bullimer from the second position. Yes, they've got Maura Hayes. Yes, they've got Malaya Stanton as well. But she's just gone so efficiently about her job. But her understanding of the game and when to make changes, how to get different people involved at different times, because this Durham offense is so diverse, has been next level.
Yeah, I mean, she's done a phenomenal job, but I want to shout out Ross Enfield as well. Like, Ross is one of the best scout men in the game, one of the best data volley guys, one of the best analysts, one of the best understanders and thinkers of the game. The setters from Durham are always really good at reading the game, about knowing which decision to make. Ross is a really big part of that. And yeah, Eleanor's had a phenomenal season. She makes the right choices 99 times out of 100, and that's so hard to play against, especially with the wealth of attacking options that this Durham team has.
And such a unique story. I was able to catch up with her in the week building up to this final. Someone born and raised in Germany, played in Berlin, but then didn't take the traditional route. She wanted to study, she wanted to play, and then found out about the US, but didn't go straight into the D1, T2 system. Took some time at a lower level, then earned a spot on Portland before coming to Durham. So it's an unusual pathing from a European. But again, that experience has kind of paid through. She understands different systems, she's got that versatility, and you can see that little bit of flair as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's becoming more and more of an option for Europeans now. We're seeing more and more Europeans, the ones that aren't making it right at the top end of the game, are moving to the US. They're getting that education, like you say, and that ability, like you said, to play loads of different systems, get loads of different experiences, serving and going to serve her really well in the future.
Yeah, and potentially her last game, which she doesn't fully know, but her plan is to go. The whole reason about going to the US, coming to Durham, was all about the education. And catching up with her week, she said, right now the plan is to go work, to go do that. If there is a pro club wherever I work, or a high-level club that I can play, great. But priority is going in that this might be her last game, and what a stage to finish it on if it is certainly, at least in the short term.
Yeah, absolutely, and knowing this team, it's hard to bet against them to get the positive outcome as well.
And then the last piece of the puzzle, Drew McCullough, who was phenomenal. Maybe could have very easily won the MVP of that final. Defensively has just been a rock. She's come in and earned the starting job over Jenny Njombi, who was good at the start of the year. But for her to earn it, but this but what she's done is just grip the whole piece of this puzzle together. The Durham defensively right now have just taken another step in the back half of the year.
Yeah, outstanding anticipation, outstanding passer, really, really stable, really, really good at playing the game. The best liberos are the ones you don't really notice a lot, and she's done a phenomenal job of not really being noticeable, of just holding it down and being structured and keeping this team, giving them what they need.
So indeed, in a second we're just going to get, I think we should be getting team photos, or if we have team photographer is here, so we'll get photos, then we'll get some thoughts. Alex, we're going to let you go upstairs. I know you'll be with the game with me, but and then we'll get the thoughts as no. And then we're just going to get, after the photo, we will get the thoughts of head coach Paul Welsh for Durham. And then obviously we're about 17 minutes away from opening serve. As you see, the Durham team here so loose, and that's what's been impressed about this team. They've mixed it up. They dance before every game. It's kind of come a tradition. That's super important as Durham go in to get their team photo. And then we'll get the thoughts of Paul Welsh, who's got some decisions to make. As Alex said, like, they've been mixing up Jefferson and Decker a lot. So that starting 7 lineup for Durham won't be easy. But again, catching up with Eleanor Bullimer in the week, she talked about the competitive atmosphere of this team, and obviously those of you that saw the post-game MVP with Chloe Thomas, as Paul comes to join us. Paul, appreciate your time as always. Obviously, Final Four planned out how you wanted. How's the response been, though? I heard you gave the team a little bit of time off just to regroup before this last push to end the season.
Yeah, it's important that you build that time in and let them recover physically and mentally, ready to push again for what's going to be another challenging game, hopefully.
Obviously, you played Mallery a lot, so how much of it is, you've all talked about all year about you, but how much are you now able to dive in and just make a little tweak here and there, because that semi-final was tight?
Yeah, it was tight, yeah. So tighter than when we played them twice in the league. So we know what their capabilities are. We make sure we make the right adjustments. And
defensively, I was just talking on the side with Alex Chinnery there. That seems like the area in the unit that's moved and progressed maybe the most all season. What have you seen from the defensive element? Yes, the block, but also the back line that's allowed you to take that step forward and have almost a perfect season.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't looked at the season-long stats yet, but the dig number is significantly higher than what we had last year. So it would be nice to see. It's been consistent over the season. It'd be nice to compare to see what it's like across the league, but we're definitely digging a lot more balls, which is great.
Well, we'll let you go, get ready, appreciate your time and best of luck in the final.
Thank you, brilliant, cheers.
The thoughts of head coach Paul Welsh there for Durham, and we'll walk down the other end. And delighted to be joined by the Mallery middle, Jaden Scott. Jaden, been here before, you've been on both sides of it.
Sure have.
How has the group responded to Final Four? Because we know not coming away with a medal wasn't expected, it wasn't what you wanted. So how's the last couple of weeks been trying to regroup?
Yeah, I think really we just shifted our focus. As soon as that final whistle was blown for the Final Four, we just had to shift our focus to this game. And you know what? It's really hard to beat a team 4 times. So we're ready and we know what the game plan is. We were pretty close, even though it was a sweep by them. We were really close in the points, so we know what to do and we're ready to do it.
And what's the one thing the coaching staff have been reiterating this week? What's the most important thing for you to come out if you want to win a back-to-back championships in the Cup?
Yeah, really the focus is just to focus on our side. Not to worry too much about what they're doing over there. We know what to do. We need to execute our game plan and keep our side of the net clean. And if we do that and we serve tough, we think we have a really good shot.
Well, we know you like serving, and maybe opening serve, we saw that in the Cup and we didn't enjoy it, but best of luck and we'll enjoy the Cup final.
Yeah, thanks so much. We're really excited.
There's the thoughts of Jaden Scott as the captains just getting ready. Chloe Allen and Ali Ruffin getting their photo at the net. Delighted to be joined by the third part of our broadcast team, Jess Smith, who'll be floating alongside us all day. Jess, this is such a big game for Mallery. Undefeated last season in terms of trophies, haven't won one. This team is going to come out with some fire.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm expecting them to come out very aggressive today. We saw a little bit of hesitation at Final Fours not too long ago, back at Crystal Palace. But now is the time where, yes, the pressure's on, but is the pressure on so much that they feel like they have to come out and be hesitant in what they're doing? I want to see them be really aggressive today.
Yeah, so let's break down this Mallery roster as we've just done with Durham. We'll start through the middle. This is maybe the dilemma Mallery have today. You see V in shot here. We just talked about Jaden and Ava. that middle trio has kind of not had success in big moments this year. They've not seen a lot of ball. How important is it? Because we know the quality, we know they can do some different things. Jaden, especially on the slide, V on the block, Ava's a bit more rounded. But how important is it they get involved in the game today? Because in that semi-final, they just weren't involved at all.
No, they weren't. It made it actually a lot easier for the Durham block to manage things. But if they can get the middles firing today, even if it's not successful every single time, if they can show Durham that they have more than just the pin options, more than just the backcourt pipe attack, it will make it more difficult for Durham to close off the block. It will give all of their attacking options more opportunity to score. Maybe there's a gap, maybe there's a late blocker, maybe somebody hasn't closed all the way to the net, but you're only going to get that success when you have a fully functioning offense.
And then obviously on the outside, maybe the breakout star in the first half of the season, number 11, Claire Kellum, obviously was with Mallery last year, lost her spot late in the year with Georgia McGovern coming in, was that hybrid setter. Selena Batiste was impactful, but at her best, Claire was right up there. We were talking about her potentially as the best opposite in the first half of the season. She's gone off the boil. What she's tried to do is maybe be too aggressive. Error rate's gone up, so how important is it that she has a great game today and she really accelerates, because Mallery need that off attacking options?
Yeah, I mean, Claire's one of those players that when she gets fired up, she fires the whole team up. So if she can fire well, then she'll start, encouraging JoJo Cruz, encouraging Chloe Allen to be scoring more points. You'll see more interesting stuff happen on every attacking option that they've got. And it's really important to see Claire perform at a reasonable level today. I mean, she doesn't have to be 100% aggressive every single time, but it's just having that balance of being aggressive but being smart. If the swing genuinely isn't there, yeah, you can still be aggressive without swinging full tilt at a ball. I want to see that from them. And
you talked, Jaden Scott said service pressure. Claire Kellum might be able to deliver. She's got the jump shove. She didn't show it at Crystal Palace. Maybe is it in the back pocket for an occasion like today? We will see. The outside, we don't need to talk about Chloe Allen. We've done that all season, rock solid. But the weakness of this Mallery team arguably is that second outside hasn't been solid. They've not found success. JoJo Cruz, Aaliyah Rafa, McKenna McCall. McKenna may be the X factor. She had a big second part of the season. Kind of earned that flying spot in that medal game against Newcastle. Came off the boil, but one of them has to step up today.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we saw McKenna come in the Final Fours and be, that spark of aggression that the rest of the team was missing. If she can spark that again today, then I think that'll really put Mallery in a good position. But the one advantage they do have is their outsides all do something slightly different. So if they make a change of an outside, it's not like a like for like. It will be something that Durham has to adapt to. So if they can keep moving things around and keep Durham guessing, that's their best opportunity to put some points on the board today.
And of course, that third outside super important because it anchors the serve receiver, anchors the defense, and the defense led by Ari Sierra, your Super League MVP. We know the ball doesn't hit the floor when Ari's around, but she's made mistakes. She's been a little bit aggressive. She's left her feet early and been out of balance. So even for someone like Ari, she needs to almost be perfect today, and she's got it in her. She passed a 2-6 in that semi-final against Durham.
Yeah, I mean, and Ari's one of those players that we've seen has always performed well in those big moments. It's something about when things are more pressured that she feels most in her comfort zone, and she really rises to it. And I think we'll see that again from her today. And the good defense, the serve receive is going to be one portion of it, but the defense is going to be key for Mallery because we know Durham is a tall team. They're going to be hard to stop.
And then the person that's earned the setting job, really struggled to start the season, Emily Feller. Story, small volleyball towns, small volleyball area, grew up in Montana, stayed in the local area, and then exploded on the scene the second half of the season. The integral part of Emily is the aggressive nature of her game. She is someone that will go over onto fine kills and really try and stifle and pressure a defense.
Yeah, exactly, and it's exactly the type of setting aggression that we want to see from this Mallery squad today. Same reason that we want to see some aggression from their attackers. The more attacking options they have, the more aggressive they are in all areas of the game, the more Durham are going to have to work for a victory in today's match. We know Durham are undefeated right now. Mallery have a good opportunity to put some pressure on them. They have loads of different things that they do. But I think you're right. Emily Feller being such an aggressive setter means that it's just one more player that Durham has to keep an eye on.
Indeed, and chatting with Emily in the week, I was able to catch up with her. Impressive, because she hates interviews, so the fact that she did it, first of all, thanks Emily, but talked about having to change her style a little bit to fit in with the hitters. She played a little bit different in college, and that adjustment felt she was lacking some confidence, but she gave a lot of credit to Lena Ramirez, Gabby Nebrega, who's been struggling with an injury. We potentially will see more Gabby this week than at Final Four. But Emily said that style change came through, but you can start to see it's clicked. But the key thing is, she's at her best when she's got that chemistry with the UEL group. Claire Kellum, Ava Kudleta, she plays, but McKenna McCall, that group, because of the way UEL had to play this year, has been so battle tested. And you've seen it that Emily has started to just shine in confidence, and it's been such a relief to see, because you always saw it, but she has taken that next step.
Yeah, she has, and this is the moment where all of those culminating elements of the season can come together, and we can see a little bit more of a spark from Mallory than what we've actually seen so far this year. This is their make or break moment. It's the last game of the season, no matter what happens, and they have an opportunity here to take home, that first place medal.
Jess, you're going to be courtside today. What's the one thing you're going to be looking out for a little bit as this game progresses?
I think as things start, the first piece is going to be around serve receive. We know that Ari obviously is really solid in serve receive, but how are the Mallory outsides going to handle? Will we see Claire Kellum in that receiving unit? And then whether or not Mallory can put really good service pressure on Durham in return. We saw Durham pass amazingly well at Cup Finals weekend. McCullough is incredibly solid in that passing unit as well. So how can Mallory change things up from a serving perspective? So it's all about that serve versus serve receive game for them.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. It's great. The crowd's starting to fill in behind us. We're expecting maybe as many as 600-700 in for this Women's National Cup final. Of course, the Men's National Cup final after as well. Some of the Mallery men already here. We know London Giants will be coming in. We are about 6 minutes away from opening serve. I'm going to head upstairs and join Alex Chinner in commentary. But coming right up, the Women's National Cup final, the undefeated Durham Palatinates taking on last year's holders, the Mallery Eagles. And I've now made my way up to the commentary box, joined once again by Alex Chinner calling in this game. And it's interesting there, you heard Jaden Scott say a key word, service pressure. We know this Durham team are formidable, but how much do you risk reward in a final like this? We know the pressure's on, but for Mallery, it's how do you create it without forcing the error rate too high and giving Durham the 3 points?
Yeah, well, I mean, you have to create it, right? Darkstar took Durham to 5 on opening weekend by creating loads of service pressure on these passes. Yeah, we took a set off them to 14 in the final, Final Four final, and we did that by creating loads of service pressure in that set. And the big thing for me is this Durham block, right? What they love to do is if they can create service pressure, they love to shift their middle blocker onto your front row outside. And then try and shut down your front row outside that way. If you can flip the service pressure on them and then pass well enough to keep your middle and your right side options in the game, you can make a massive difference here. For me, Claire Kellum is the key player for Mallery in this one. If they can get her into the game, she is the best opposite out of the back row in the league. Chloe Thomas is the best opposite in the league, but out of the back row, no one is better than Kellum. If they can keep her in the game in the front and the back row, and she has the day that she could have, she has been known to have Mallery have a shot in this one.
Yeah, indeed, as both teams just lining up for, so we're a couple of minutes away from official introductions here for the final women's game of the season, as both teams going to meet. So we're just waiting for something. I'm not quite sure why we've got a small delay. In fact, no, now both teams do come at the net. We'll break down the starting teams. Obviously, a lot of support in, and a couple of Durham players' families are in as well, as both teams meet at the net. You talked about Claire Kellum for Mallery, but who on Durham can make an impact? Because we said it's rock solid. Obviously, we're about to talk through starters as well, but is there anyone that you think just can kind of glue this Durham team together today?
I think Izzy Decker on the outside is the key player there. You know, her ability in the pass and her ability to pass and then swing off that ball is so important to this team. When she's in the game, they slide out really well. They have a really stable base. It gives them an opportunity to come out and win this one.
And first people we are going to welcome to the final. It takes 3 teams to have a great final. We've got 2 exceptional referees in the chair today. Up on the stand, Katerina Sepnova, and she'll be joined by Richard Burbridge. 2 officials, Alex, that have developed through the system, have both taken big strides over the last couple of years, and it's a big moment for them as a pair.
Yeah, I mean, I think Kat's the best referee in the country. I think she's phenomenal on the stand. Really calm, really good in these big moments. Great as a coach, someone that is really calming to us. Rich Burbage, so proud of being here right now. Someone that I'm really proud of getting to this point. He's developed, he loves his craft, so really looking forward to both of them being here.
And now we welcome the undefeated Durham Palatinates to the court, led out by their captain, Ali Ruffin. Out of the Citadel, leader, fiery and rock solid. Number 1, Niara Hightower will run through the middle. Number 5, Chloe Thomas. Number 10, Izzy Decker's gonna get the start over Jefferson. Number 17, Raylene Jones. And then the setter we talked about downstairs so much, holding it together, Eleanor Bullimer. And she'll be joined by True McCullough. Vinici in the libero spot. That is your starting 7 for the Durham Palatinates in this Women's National Cup final.
Yeah, exactly the starting 7 that I kind of thought they would go with. Yeah, they've been flirting with having Kayla Jefferson in there at the end of the season to give them more offense. I don't think they need more offense now with Hightower back and Jones feeling good in the middle.
And now the time to meet the Mallery Eagles, and Jefferson Williams rolled the dice. Number 4, Chloe Allen, the captain, just rock solid. Number 6, Jaden Scott. Number 8, Emily Feller, who you talked about downstairs. Number 9, McKenna McCool gets the start once again ahead of JoJo Cruz. Number 11, Claire Kellum, and a middle change from Mallery. Number 15, Ava Kudalek, who we didn't see on the court at all pretty much in the Final 4, gets the start along with the Lib Ari Sierra. But it's interesting that Mallery made the change, but this UEL team, we talked about it just downstairs, that Emily's got better connections with that through the season. But they went to Durham in the Bucks semi-final with 7 players, no Lib, and were 4 points up in set 1, were 23-21 up in set number 3. So they also know how to push Durham, and Ava is a little bit more versatile. She's not as good a blocker as V, but offensively she can spice it up a little bit. She's got the ability to do some different things.
Yeah, Claire Kellum is playing outside here.
Doesn't shock me.
For Mallery today. It doesn't shock me either, but it does. I think it takes something away from this Mallery team. When your setters in the front row, you have no right side offense. Now, the slide has to work. They have to pass well today. There's no negotiables about that.
Well, unless the slide is the game plan. The other thing, though, no McKenna McCall as she's actually a little bit more confident on the right side. Her natural swing angle does open up as a bit of an opposite. Her passing has been the question and why she's not maybe played as much, so you're maybe instead going with a little bit of a passer in Kellum. But we will see what Jefferson Williams has cooked up. We know they've got to take a bit of a risk, and maybe it's the occasion to do it. So, officials are ready. Team are ready. Eleanor Bullimat will head back to the service line. 70% of you think Durham are going to win this final. Let us know where you're tuning in from as we are underway. The Women's National Cup final, Durham Mallery here in Loughborough's. Scott can't find the slide the first time through. Hightower McCall there. And Durham control the opening rally as Hightower again through the middle. Sierra can't quite get there. Back-to-back sets for Niara Hightower off the rip.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting to see if Durham do what I think they're trying to do here and establish the middle early and try and open up some one-on-ones for Chloe Thomas. She absolutely bounces the ball when she has that one-on-one, and I think that's what they're going to go for late in the set here.
Chloe Allen gets a one-on-one, goes to the tip. Bulliman and Hightower trying to rescue. Can't quite get them. We saw Chloe Allen have to go to her tips a lot in set number one of the final. It didn't work. But there, the one-on-one to go to tip. Clearly, again, being passive and valuing ball in play. So Mallery first serve. Decker puts it skywards. Ruffin forces the outer system set. McCall able to scramble. As Bullimer goes to the bump set, there's Thomas, and there's a block by Mallery, but taking it out, the outstretched arm of McKenna McCall, diving away. But again, interesting that Mallery's first serve, they put that pressure on.
Really interesting from Durham on that free ball. They stretched, they used Hightower out to the slightly to the left side of the court, opening up the space for Chloe Thomas, set the ball there and get Scott not fully formed on the block.
As Kellum misses on the pipe. You talked about a back row attack. Well, there's a good opportunity to get her in. Just slightly pulls it, but plenty of positives for Mallery on that one. As Izzy Decker, who was recruited for multiple years by Paul Welsh out of college, goes as, again, Kellum from the pipe can't connect. As Ruffin gets denied. Emily Feller, blocking ability, a little bit underrated, but that's another attribute to her game and gets an early one on the Durham captain.
Yeah, I know I ruffled some feathers with a social media post after we beat UEL the first time in this Bucks season, and ever since she's been really good at blocking the line.
Thomas gets a one-on-one, picks out McCall in one, and Kellum there on the left side gets the kill, the first front row attack for Claire Kellum of the final. And we are tied at 3 apiece as the bleachers continue to fill up. Lovely atmosphere here at the Sir David Wallace Sports Hall on Cup final weekend as Allen picks out Hightower. Ruffin splits the block. Jaden Scott not getting there in time, and a beautiful swing by Ruffin to split the seam.
That was classic Mallery volleyball. Jefferson, that's a serve that Jefferson and Carroll and Ian love. That short ball in on that stacked, whether you've got two attackers in zone 2, short into zone 2, but Durham dealt with it really, really well. As
Feller pushes it out, Kellum against Thomas. They're going to call a centre line on Kellum on the landing. She couldn't quite control her approach. And Niara Hightower head back to service line. Hightower, who was really efficient in the serve unit at the final. Put a load of pressure on this time, misses the baseline. But again, it's interesting that a lot of these teams relying now on middles, and Alex, you had it probably the best of any team this year, that the middles have become serving weapons this year across the women's game, as we get another one in Jaden Scott at the line for the Eagles. As McCullough perfect. And Ruffin goes into the block of Feller for the block out.
One of the best things about Ali Ruffin is that she doesn't try to play like she's 6 feet tall. She tries to play with the size that she has, and that means a lot of block out. It means hitting the ball really, really hard off the side of the block if she can. As
Kellum cross court, dug up by McCullough. Bullimer able to get there. Ruffin. Mallery scrambling, but this team defensively so solid. As Raylene Jones is denied by Kellum. monster block, sends it back to the Durham middle's head. And we'll have a look at that one again on the replay.
This is one of the things that playing Kellum as an outside opens up, right? Durham's biggest attackers are on that right side. You move the biggest blocker that Mallery have to that side, get her matched up against their best attackers.
Beautiful pass by Decker. Sierra digs up Jones, and it a little bit wide. I think that maybe was chaseable for Kellum, but didn't realise early enough that that was going wide of the antenna. We've seen a few teams start to do that, of trying to rescue over under the net legally. As Allen, Kellum on the more natural right side beats McCullough.
Really, really good set that from Fella, just using the momentum of the ball, pass from the left side of the court, quick ball to the right side, opens up some space and a great deep swing.
Now Kellum tries to go sharp angle again, trying to make the middle and think about playing the ball in serve receive, but gives away the 3 point. And it is a 7-6 Durham lead here on Cup Final Saturday. As Mallery tried to respond, McCall roughing, that's going to be an overpass. Kudalek picks out Raylene Jones, and she puts her hand against her mouth, just again not sure to go underarm or overarm, and ended up doing neither. And that'll bring Kudalek to serve. Again, Mallery trying to really go a little bit shorter, sharp angles. Bullimer, Decker misses on the cross court.
That's a really uncharacteristic miss from Izzy Decker. She's usually so good in that situation where she passes off a platform, transitions out and comes to swing.
Again, that one going wide, but Decker plays it. Hightower has to adjust. Beautiful by Niara Hightower. That was not an ideal set, but managed to make the adjustment just to tip it wide.
It's a fabulous choice though from Eleanor Bullimer. They're just keeping enough height on the ball so that Hightower can see the court and play in some space.
As McCall runs it into Hightower, who closed the gap again, accelerated a little bit, didn't believe the middle was there. And we'll have a look at that one again. Just watch how early Niara Hightower starts to go, realises it's a back row with McCall, and gets over for the first block of the game for Durham. As Decker picks out Kellum in the back. Emily Feller goes aggressive. Bullimer gets there, but earns a free ball for her side. Allen gets the touch of Hightower. Wasn't perfect out of system by, free ball kills by Mallery. That's been a weakness all season, but Emily Feller managed to put it out enough for Chloe Allen to attack. As Bullimer rescues that one. Hightower dug up by McCall away to her right. Again, Durham really trying to establish Hightower early. Goes to her again. And now it's a free ball given up by Sierra. Thomas on the inside, nails it.
Right now, if I'm Jaden Scott, I'm not worrying about Hightower. She's not putting the ball away, but you always have to worry about Chloe Thomas. You always have to be ready to get 2 up on Chloe Thomas, because if you don't, that ball's going on the floor.
Whoa. One would be better than what Mallery gave, which was effectively an empty net. As Allen doesn't get an empty net and gets roofed by Hightower straight into Jaden Scott.
But it looks like there was a net touch there from Durham.
Yep.
From Niara Hightower is who it's being given on. But that's the danger for Mallery coming in. If that set dies inside, the block's too big. There's no way through. You have to tip, and if you tip and tip and tip and tip, Durham are going to take you out.
Bullimer, Thomas, Sierra gets a hand to it. That's going to go over the LED board in the corner. And Chloe Thomas able to attack down the line. And Ari Sierra frustrated, having a chat with Jefferson Williams. It's a dig you normally expected to make. But again, we know how difficult it is to stop Chloe Thomas in full throttle. Hit over 450 in the Bucks final in this gym. A Scott sharp angle places it on the line. Beautiful by Jaden Scott. Just a little outside hand just to change the angle.
We've started to see that shot an awful lot this year from a lot of teams. It's why we moved our middles to defend at 6 in the semi-final against Newcastle, because we knew it was coming.
As again, Mallery putting a lot of pressure on Izzy Decker, and Raylene Jones able to break through the middle. The eye candy went one way with the block, and Raylene Jones snuck on from the left side through the middle, easy as you like. Beautiful integrate offense by Durham.
Bullimer's absolutely dealing right now. She is making every decision the right way.
As Kellum into the block. Ruffin block touch. McCall gets a touch, but can't quite put enough on it. And again, you say that decision, it felt like that ball was probably the last place you probably expect it to go, was out to the Durham captain, Ali Ruffin, and she was able to deliver and give herself on her side a 3-point lead, 14-11 in the opening set of this Women's National Cup final.
This is the problem that Mallery have, right? Coming up against this Durham team, you have to be perfect. Completely perfect if you want to win the game. There's no way that you're coming into this at 3 points down now. It's so hard to make Durham or force Durham to make enough mistakes to come back into this set.
It's super interesting. I think Durham ignored the last couple of points. Typically, the success they've had, and talked about Mallery needing to start well. They've typically done a good job in the first 20 points against Durham, and this is the business end. This is where Durham start to make the small little adjustments, and this is where probably Mallery have to sustain and be in the game, as a coach's point goes to Jefferson Williams as Thomas sends that one over the baseline. So McCall again, Mallery putting a lot of questions on Izzy Decker as Emily Feller able to get this out of system Mallery, and Chloe Allen just completely shanks the ball over, puts it wide and gives Durham a cheap one.
You're not winning the game against Durham if you're giving away points like that. There's no room for those kind of errors here. You have to be able to make errors being aggressive if you want to beat this team.
As Feller's going to scramble, does a good job putting it up. McCall has to wait, and Bullimer able to go aggressive, set a dump, and ball is kept up. Setter on setters. Raylene Jones finds it. Kellum goes for the middle. Scrappy by Mallery, and they can't find the winner that they most definitely needed. Probably the wrong decision for Kellum there. That ball probably needed to go out to the wing.
I think it just needed to have a swing on it. They needed to be able to push some sort of pressure on this Durham team, and playing short on the colour doesn't cause pressure for them.
As Thomas overpass, Kudalek gets the kill that time. As the London Giants roll into the arena ahead of the Men's National Cup final. That one just under 3 hours away from starting. 7:30 for that one. And stay with us here for all the action on Cup final weekend, as McCullough is aced by Kellum, lets it go.
That's the one weakness in this Durham passing unit, is if you can go deep into the seams on McCullough. She doesn't like tracking that ball back.
This time a little bit shorter. It's going to be tight for Bullimer. Great set though. Decker picks out Kellum. And Chloe Allen can't find the winner. McCall, Ruffin perfectly positioned as longest rally of this cup final in shoes. Feller goes, dug up by Thomas, and Bullimer takes a swing and can't quite connect. A big one for Mallery, but nice to see Elena Bullimer, that one in a good hitting arc for her, and you haven't seen her take many aggressive swings. It's been more the setter dumps, but that left-handed angle can open up a lot.
Durham not quite playing in transition with the crispness that they have done in the past.
As another overpass, it's 3 in the last 5 points, and Paul Welsh hits the buzzer and wants to talk it over. We talked about can Mallery sustain it, and Claire Kellum fired up, slams the ball into the ground, roars their approval, and that service pressure that you needed and wanted for Mallery to have success, Alex, is really starting to unfold.
Kellum's the one player that could really drive a lot of that pressure. She loves She loves to go back and rip a serve, loves to go back and rip a swing. And I think it's a really, really key thing for Mallery that she's able to go back and rip. And that means that others have got to be a lot cleaner with how they play so that Claire can go back, be really aggressive, and make some errors and still not cost the team too much.
Yeah, and we were wondering if she would go to this jump serve that she threw out a few times in the air, a couple of times against you in Bucks as well, that she brought it out the locker. Probably go safe out of the timeout just to get some rhythm as McCullough steps in front of her captain, and Decker fires it at Kellum, who can't control it out of 6, and a big one for Izzy Decker.
See, that's the problem. You can't go safe against this Durham reception unit because they're just going to side out. So you might as well go for your serve.
As Raylene Jones picks out Kellum. I think it's the first time we've really seen her tested in serve receive. And McKenna McCall able to split the lock. Hightower wasn't just platformed enough to go up vertically, went off balance, and McKenna McCall saw it and able to find the gap.
That's the pin blocker. Izzy Decker didn't line up the block correctly. Hightower's then having to go over. Rather than just close, she's having to take the majority of that block.
As Decker goes over the top of McKenna McCall, and Izzy Decker handprints all the way through, and this is a type of set with Bullimer on the back row that is an issue as Allen tight angle. As Hightower beats Fella.
That's the crispness in transition that we're used to from Durham. Just so good. They force the out system ball to the outside. They force that situation that isn't going to kill the ball, and then they're just able to arrange, get one of their better attackers a chance to swing, and they go up and they kill the point.
As that one pipes the back corner, beautiful by Bullimer right into one in. Almost couldn't put it any better, and Jefferson Williams wants to talk it over that Mallery service run to tie the game up. Immediately erased by Durham.
I think right now, Mallery are trying to pull Kellum in and out of the pass as much as possible. What I think they need to do is manipulate this pass so that Ari is passing at 1 or at 5. This Durham team aren't going to serve to zone 6. They're going to serve tough to zone 1 or zone 5. You have to have Ari in one of those two zones, and probably try and manipulate your passing unit so that Chloe Allen's in the other one of those two zones. If you can get those two passing the majority of the balls, you have more of an opportunity to stay in rhythm.
As the under-16 girls final on court 2, where Oliver and Chris are over on the call, goes to an extra set. As out of the timeout, McCall into the passing unit. Kellum just about avoids the 3-meter line, but again tipped as Allen fighting for it. Sierra gets a big touch. McKenna McCall can only stab it over. And wide, and again, a couple of times Mallery have had 3 swings in and around the net and not able to capitalise as a sub's coming for Mallery. It's McKenna McCall out, Jojo Cruz in, and that'll mean that Claire Kellum slides to the opposite position. So Durham 4 points away as Sierra from 6 this time able to make the pass, but again not an aggressive swing as Hightower gets 2 opportunities out of system, with Fella having to play from 1. As Ruffin, big save. And Allen now able to really try and force it, but Chloe Allen really struggling for kills, but gets an absolute monster block that gets the crowd off their feet. You see the Mallery team celebrating. We have to see that again. Chloe Allen, welcome to the final.
Mallery needed Chloe Allen to step up and make some big plays, and that's a hell of a play. Really interesting though that Durham have gone straight back to their left side stack here. They're going to set Chloe Thomas in the middle here, I would have thought. Oh no, she's going on the slide, goes up and gets the kill.
Well, nearly not fair. Kellum nearly got a hand on it, but we've seen Durham kind of run so many offenses at the stack, and that's the value of having a weapon in every spot.
Thomas is so difficult to handle out of that stack as well.
Mallery did a good job slowing that down in the semi-finals. Allen has to go deep tip, but Decker reads it as Bullimer crashed to the net. but not a great set for Hightower. Kellum can set, we saw that, and Allen gets high hands. And that's the versatility of Kellum. We haven't even bought about that part of the game, that she came to Mallery a year ago as a setter. Yes, she could swing a little bit, and the plan was to maybe get her some reps at opposite, but she started the year as the setter, so you're not really out of system when she is setting. As Ruffin with a perfect pass, Thomas has to tip, and Sierra can't control it, diving away. And again, Mallery, plays that you'd normally see them make just haven't been made in set number 1.
Durham are really good at bringing a variety to their offense, and that makes them really, really hard to play against. They don't do the same thing over and over again. It means you're unexpected, and these plays that you would say you would expect to make, because you're not expecting them to come, they're much harder to actually get right.
As Chloe Thomas shuts down Kellum to bring up 5 set points. Raylene Jones is coming across, but that is all Chloe Thomas. Again, you can see how aggressive Durham are. They're already pretty much lined up in a double blocking position, and that ball just got to go maybe somewhere else as Cruz. There's a slide for Scott. There's a big net touch by Jaden Scott, and that ends set number 1. The Durham Palatinates 2 sets away from a perfect season, having taken set number 1 of this National Cup final, 25-19. Here at the Sir David Wallace Sports Hall. Mallery, 7 errors in set number 1. 6 hitting errors, 1 service error. And 5 errors for Durham. A little bit more of a mixed bag, a couple of rare serving errors from this side. But really the difference is in the kill column. Durham with 5 more kills compared to Mallery. So just 15 kills, 3 errors for Durham, and that's just a typical Durham stat line, Alex, that low error count, high kills, and they're just not going to beat themselves.
No, you have to come out and play a perfect game, otherwise there's no opportunity for you to come out and do what you need to do.
So have a look individually. Chloe Thomas, 5 kills for Durham. Niata Hightower, 4 as well. But we will take a quick break from that part of the action as we are now able to welcome some of our annual award winners onto the court. Our Coach of the Year for... my copy of the script disappeared. Coach of the Year for Children and Young People, Gianni Allen Sutton. Your Coach of the Year, someone we'll see a lot of in a couple of hours' time, Mihail Stoev for adults. Our Young Coach of the Year, Hoi Pyu Lung, a big part of the Lionhearts Venerius team who retained their Mari Women's Super League status last year. Our Referee of the Year up in the stand, can't get in the photo from there, Katerina, but big congratulations, and part of the reason she's on this final, Katerina Sepnova. Our Young Referee of the Year, Zachary Johnson, and our Volunteer of the Year, Rachel Noka, who's obviously still in a playing kit from the final as well. Big congratulations to 6 of our winners. We've got another 6 to talk about as well. Big part of the awards, and we'll also learn more about the 70th anniversary celebrations that have happened this afternoon here at the Sir David Wallace Sports Hall.
Looks like Durham are unchanged. They've had the same formula all year. And it looks like Mallery are staying the same as well to match up to them.
Well, staying the same, but not staying the same.
But
staying the
flip
same.
the outsides, right? Yeah, no, they haven't. They are staying the same.
But obviously, Jojo Cruz ended the set, so they've kind of reversed that sub, and it was obviously an interesting decision. Maybe gave McKenna a quick talking to, quick breather, and to kind of see a little bit, just to make the adjustments. Ross Enfield immediately pulls Niara Hightower in. They're going to make some sort of adjustment based on what they've seen from the Mallery starting group, as the chess game continues. And obviously for Durham as well, as we haven't really talked about it, but a brutal road to get here in sense of travel. Obviously, everything's an open cut draw. Got given around one game, which not many teams did, and we'll talk about the rest in a second. As Bullimer, Thomas on the slide out the stack, not aggressive enough, and Chloe Allen squeezes it through a seam in the block that didn't look like it was going to get there.
So that's a rare mistake from Durham here in how they're running this stack. Usually, all season, they've run Chloe Thomas through the middle on like a 1.5 ball. But Ari is the only libero really that stepped under and dug it. Ari's not on court because the middle's serving. So what they should do is go back to Thomas in that ball.
As Fella did a terrific job. Kellum's going to set her opposite partner, McKenna McCall. She turns it into a beach cut shot. Beautiful hitting by McKenna McCall. And the Mallery bench love that.
Great start to the set from Durham. They've unloaded the stack. Izzy Decker pushes out.
As Ruffin plays that one. 1 foot on the sideline. Thomas gets a swing. Kudalek there in 5 to play defense. As Bullimer works around Hightower. And no depth from Decker, and it's a bit of a scramble, but Durham controlled the rally, and Emily Feller sprinting to the net. That was Mallory's system all over, but Claire Kellum late on the reaction. But yeah, as you said, Durham obviously got a rough draw by just playing around wrong game, but then had trips to Bristol and twice down to London in the later rounds. A lot of travelling for this Durham team, but they've made it work as McCall finds Bullimer. So Durham working out of system, as are Mallery. As Allen on the tight set tries to play for hands and doesn't get them.
Chloe Thomas is such an elite blocker. She's so good. Her eye work is phenomenal. If you watch her head, as soon as that ball comes out of the setter's hands, that head is snapped straight to the attacker. She gets so much information from them and gets the read, makes the play.
As Hightower can't connect. That's not a... Oh, referees. I think that ball was still live. I think they're saying Mallery got a little touch on the block that Durham, I don't think, thought was there.
But that's really good refereeing. You might as well wait, because if the two teams know that it's 4, they might not play it out like that, and then you haven't got to make a controversial call. That's why she's the referee of the year.
McCall, Decker high into the Loughborough sky. Ruffin has to go with the tip though. Kellum from the pipe misses, not by a lot though.
Mallory will be okay with that. They know that they have to get kills. They know that they have to make this work in a way that they have to be aggressive. They have to let Claire Kellum be aggressive, and if they don't, they're not going to win this game.
As whistle goes on that one, 4 by Mallery. That one not clearing the net. And recycle is no good because no can do 4.
See, that one I thought actually was a block touch, but I'm not a referee, so...
Well, the interesting one is that no real appeals from Mallery, which is normally a bit of a giveaway, as Jaden Scott gets a rare swing. Hightower on the dig, but it's an over dig, so Mallery control it, and Allen makes them pay. Sharp by Chloe Allen. And again, that's Mallery have to win these types of points, the ones where Durham make errors, and that's what they didn't do consistently enough in set 1.
Yeah, they've done a really good job of pushing Durham, of creating some chaos, and that's a key to how you want to play moving forward.
Thomas! 1-on-1 against Kellum on the cross court. Good luck back row digging that one up. Chloe Thomas unleashed yet again.
Just way too much information in Jaden Scott's brain going into that. As soon as that ball goes short to the right side, you should get out on Chloe Thomas.
And that's what Durham do so well.
Yes.
Right, they are, you saw a couple of times in that first set where the middle's already standing by the outside, so the movement is in sync and in step. There's no trying to close a gap because the gap's already been shut down. And Mallery just not quite reading it there as Jaden Scott will head back to the service line. Ruffin, beautiful ball. Thomas has to rearrange from the back row. And Kellum finds the right hand of Raylene Jones.
Out of system against Durham. On the outside, you have to go high or you have to go off to the side. You cannot go low seam like that. You're just going to get eaten up every time.
It wasn't super out of system, but enough where Durham knew where the ball was going, as Ruffin is the latest Durham player to give Mallery a couple of cheap points. It's the 4th service error of the final for the Palatinates, who are normally rock solid at the service line.
That was the other thing that happened in the set we won to 14. They made 5 or 6 service errors in that set.
Bullimer, Decker, and Sierra again having to play it. So Mallery out of system as Decker sets her captain in the back row. But again, Durham have done a really good job making Emily Feller play defense so far. So Mallery indeed continued to be out of system, and Decker makes the cross-court adjustment.
And much to the chagrin of everyone in the crowd, it goes to 7-6 again for the second set in a row.
7, not the other way round. That's the important bit. As Feller changes it up, goes to Callum. Bullimer with a terrific adjustment coming off the net, but Mallery earned the free ball. They have to convert opportunities like this, and they don't, as McKenna McCall shanks it into the antenna.
We talk about being a slightly undersized setter like Bullimer is, and she does all of the things well that you have to do. You have to be a great server, you have to be a great defender, you have to keep yourself in the back row as long as possible. Helps when your teammates also make their serves.
It's hard to be a good defensive team if you don't have a ball to defend. As the errors continue to creep up for Durham, but they still have a lead in this set as Decker steps in front of Ruffin. Has to go to the tip. Sierra there with the pancake. Chloe Allen. Pancake of her own by Decker. Mallery bench wanting it, but I think she got there as now Allen finds Decker, who stepped off the block to help in the middle, and Chloe Thomas pins it down the line, and Ari Sierra leaves it, but leaves it to hit the Terraflex floor, and Chloe Allen up to have a chat with Setnova, but again, just ill-disciplined mental mistakes by Mallery.
You have to come into a game against Durham thinking they're going to give you nothing, and everything they give you is a bonus. You have to expect those balls to drop in. That's how good this team is.
As Kellum deals with the serve off the net tape. Allen, beautiful tip that time. The big block of Thomas and Hightower was there, and she left it and held it long enough. And Ari Sierra having a talking to by Carol Gordon, who's such an integral part of this Mallery coaching staff. I know you'll want to talk about that in a second, as Decker unleashes on the cross court to beat Kutelek, but just that quiet word to calm down someone that's been so sensational.
Yeah, and I think that one of the things with Ari is she plays at such a crazed almost level, and that's a compliment. That's not anything other than that. Sometimes you do have to have that quiet word just to calm her a little bit. Make sure she keeps believing in herself. Make sure she keeps believing that she's the best libero in the country.
Well, she is the Super League MVP. She got that trophy earlier today as Allen. Beautiful by Decker. Ruffin just recycles the ball. So Mallery attacking opportunities, and Chloe Allen runs it into her namesake Chloe Thomas for a monster shutdown.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what we call a trap set. And yeah, there's only one outcome when a ball is set that low and that fast into that big of a block.
As a rare service receive error by Mallery, who's been rock solid in the past, gives up the free ball. But this time it's McCall able to shut down Ruffin, but Thomas goes for the block touch and gets it. Beautiful adjustment by Thomas.
This is the killer if you're Mallery, right? Durham haven't played that well, Mallery haven't played that badly, and you're 4 points down. It's just such a tough team to play against. As on the other court, it looks like we could be heading close to reverse sweep potential. South Bucks leading 13-11 in the fourth set.
I know Richmond missing a couple of players, but interesting. But let's talk. We haven't really talked a lot about coaching staffs in this game. I know you talked about Ross downstairs, but you talked about Carol, obviously now taking over the senior England team with Jefferson, with Ian. It's such an experienced group that they've got a real good feel for emotions and control.
Yeah, I think that's been Carol's biggest plus point for a long time, is that she is so personable, she's so caring, she cares about everyone, and you feel it. Having played for her, you know, she was my England cadet coach when I was a part of that pathway, and as someone that I've worked for as an assistant, and everything, she's so caring, and it makes you feel very valued. and you want to give her your best every time. Jeff's very similar, Ian's very similar, so they're a great coaching staff to have around.
Back to back, poor service receptions for the Eagles. Durham starting to run riot as Thomas steps in. Emily Feller steps in to make the dig, but McCullough is there on the reverse. The ball really pinging around for Durham. Feller with a big touch, but nothing for Mallery as Kellum goes on the slide, pushes a chair over.
Ruffin doesn't bring that line shot out a lot. It's something that she can only hit in a tiny number of situations. But if you set that block up too cross court on her, she can just get that wicked whip of her arm.
And now Mallery decides for a setting change. Not a lot Emily Feller could have done the first few points, but again, different style of setting. Gabby with a Brazilian nature, a little bit more experience as well in the European style, but the errors just mounting for Mallery. This time it's Kellum misses, and this is just not sustainable for the Eagles. 6 hitting errors in this set compared to 1 for Durham, and it's a runaway train yet again for the best team in the country. As McCullough, beautiful decker this time from the back row, can only pick out Kellum, but it's an overpass that Niara Hightower can't find the floor. And again, a little bit of a low set as Nebrega now for the first time gets to attack, and Allen finds a sharp angle, but Ruffin there to stop. And Nebrega gets it all wrong, trying to play it off the net, and can't handle it, and another Durham point.
Mallery have to calm the chaos right now. No one is taking that moment to reclaim their composure and just play with something close to normal volleyball.
McCall misses, but gets a little touch off the block of Ali Ruffin, taking it long. But this was, as you said, it was a 7-6 lead for Durham. It got to 16-8, 8 of the last 9 points going to the Palatinates in their purple. But Mallery nearly get 2, but McCullough with a ridiculous pickup off the net roll on the McCall serve, and Chloe Allen gets the block touch.
Something there, if you're a middle and you're passing a free ball, you've got to put some height on it, especially if your setter's in the front row with you. You've got to make sure you can still be an option if you're passing that free ball.
And that's what Mallery haven't done all season. They haven't found success to replace Grace Lazard as Chloe Thomas buries that one. And this year, the offense for Mallory's been 2 players, Kellum, Allen, and nothing else through the middle.
Yeah, really nice set. Just brings Thomas inside, feels Chloe Allen going drifting out to block the line, brings Thomas inside. That's one of the things that Bulham has been phenomenal at this year. Her feel of where the opposition blockers are outstanding.
And again, Mallery just scrambling with the serve reception as Jones middle. But Kellum able to respond, and Chloe Allen with a really awkward swing approach. Doesn't matter. And maybe that's what you got to do. Just get her the ball in different ways when the moment you're not expecting it to go.
Chloe Allen's phenomenal at step, close, jump, swing. One of the best that we've ever seen in this country at just having that 2-step approach and it being the same every single time, no matter what the situation is.
Thomas line, Sierra with the dig, it's coming over, and they're going to call a violation on Kellum on the block, landing on the wrong side of the centre line. Frustrating for Mallery as we now see the almost patented double sub. We didn't get to see it in set 1 because Bullimer went, as they were thinking about making it, Bullimer went to the back row, so no need to make it. So number 28, Maura Hayes, will come into the lineup along with number 22, Kaya Jefferson, who will step into, we presume, the opposite role, replacing Chloe Thomas. Hayes, another left-handed setter, as Nebrega sets Kellum, dug up by Decker, free ball for Jaden Scott, and she just never elevates and then slaps the ball wide.
Yeah, we've seen a lot more of the swipe on those overpasses from middles recently, and I think that it's just a little bit safer, a little bit easier to find court.
As Nebrega can't chase that one down. Sierra there, but again, Mallery just starting to lose ball control, and McKenna McCall tips that one away.
Durham really starting to run away with this now. They're just making smart plays, and Mallery are imploding.
Scott slide, picks out the gap, 1 and 2, Jefferson and Hayes. Hayes is definitely not as good as defender as Bullimer in the back row. And Mallery get a big one to bring up our Olympic year, but it would need an Olympic size comeback now for the Eagles as Hayes rough in line over the smaller Gabby Nebrega.
That's one thing that Fella does give you in the front row. She is way more of a blocking presence than Gabby Nebrega is for the Eagles.
As McCall again, Mallery out of system on serve receive. It's been the story, errors and poor serve receive as Allen able to get there off the tip. But again, when Mallery have an advantage, they give it straight back. No aggressive swing, welcome to getting punished.
Yeah, you just can't play like this against this Durham team. They're more talented than everyone else in the country. They've got so much talent stacked on their roster. You have to go out and make them uncomfortable. If they're comfortable, they're winning the point.
As overpass, Nebrega keeps it up with the shoulder. And another hitting error. And Jefferson Williams just looks at the floor, hasn't used the second time out, which is a little bit surprising.
It's time for this Mallery coaching staff to roll the dice. They rolled the dice at the start of the game. It's clearly not working. Go back to something that works and try and get your best attacker into an opportunity to swing.
As Kellum responds with that one, but the question is, what dice have they got? They've not got a full strength roster here. No Sophie just go to change it up. They are limited this year. It's maybe, we talk about depth for Mallery, but other teams have got so much more depth this year, and that came through. This is the lineup that really rescued their season against Team Side Out in a crucial Mari Women's Super League game late in the year that got them to the Final Four as Decker beats Allen. And I don't know if the ball's moving a little bit or something in the arena, but this Mallery patented defense and serve receive unit's just not turned up in the second set. And that's why Durham are rampant and have 11 set points as Nebrega gets that bump set all wrong, but Kellum goes aggressive and will get a setting chance, goes for the setter dump right and finds the kill. Durham asleep, but if you're going to be asleep, do it 10 points up in a set.
Exactly. The thing that has to change is Mallery have to start getting Chloe Allen and Claire Kellum into situations where they can score points, because they're the only two that are even looking like they're up for the fight right now. And Ari's always up for the fight. She's out there flying around the court making some defensive plays.
Jefferson, first swing, just misses the back corner. That wasn't far away for Jefferson. And Mallery save a couple, but it's going to take a Herculean effort from here. But Claire Kellum may be the one that can do it. Does she go big on serve? She doesn't, but gets the ball moving into McCullough's body, so she doesn't put up the best serve receive, and Decker misses long. So Kellum again on the service line. Again going to McCullough. Hayes sets Jefferson inside. Nebrega there with the defense, but Kudalek and Allen get in each other's way, give up the free ball, and Jefferson nails it for a 2-0 Durham lead in the Women's National Cup final. As we have a championship point over on court number 2. You said roll the dice. What can Jefferson Williams, Ian Legrand and Carol Gordon cook up? How do they really change something? Obviously you talk about setting scenarios, but what group do you go with? Do you go risky? Do you go with someone like JoJo Cruz that we know can be high error rate, but is just gonna hit every ball hard and not give up a free swing? Do you ban your team from tipping and going for high hands and just swing at everything? What is the balance and the adjustment?
For me, I think you bring Emily Feller back in to set. You move Claire Kellum to the opposite, where she can get swings, where she can get points, and then you do bring JoJo in. You add another passer, someone that can come in and receive well, help out that passing unit a little bit, isn't as good offensively, but does bring a lot of energy to this team, and they look a little bit flat right now. I think they need some of that. The Mallery team last year, they just had this energy that they were going to beat you every single time. No matter what happened, they were going to beat you. And I think they don't have that this year. They don't have that mystique.
So we said we've done 6 annual awards. We've got 6 more to announce to you that were given out early today here at the Sir David Wallace Sports Hall. Our hero of the year, Joshua Joseph Leander, who's been massive, helping Team Side out, has helped us behind the scenes at Super League Live, done a great job on the camera, a referee legend for the contribution to volleyball awards, Phil Cobb. Our unsung hero of the year, Andre Castro, who is heading out onto court. Our Pete Wardell Memorial Award going to Roy Pankhurst. Our Club of the Year, Portsmouth Phoenix Volleyball Club. And our Young Volunteer of the Year, someone that definitely doesn't want to shout out but needs to mention her, Kira Delahaye from Loughborough, who wins the award for Moment of the Year by drawing her own team away to Durham in the first round of the Cup, which did happen, and that proves how much of a random draw it is when you draw yourselves away to Durham. But someone that's been integral for the Volleyball England staff amongst many other things this year, and a big part of the Loughborough team that's had a massive year here at David Wallace, the national trophy champions, and also promoted to the Premier League with their win on Wednesday. As the team's coming down for set number 3. Jess Smith is courtside and just had a chat with Dylan Cohen. And Dylan's talking about defense, and he's not wrong. Ball control, serve, receive has to be better for Mallery, as they do make a change, but it's not a massive change. In fact, it is 2 changes. It is McKenna McCall and Ava Kudalek out. V. Oroyn and Jojo Cruz in. So for Mallery, Cruz, Kellum, Allen, Sierra, Scott, Fella to start set number 3. Durham unchanged as Eleanor Bullimer gets us underway. Durham 25 points, make that 24 away from a perfect season as Hightower gets a block to open this up, set number 3.
It's just a killer trying to go low seam on that swing. You can't do it against this blocking unit.
As Jaden Scott finds Bullimer, overpasses, blocked by Niara Hightower. I don't know how much she knew about it, but Jaden Scott went aggressive on the open net and got punished for it. And Durham continuing where they left off, and this has been their MO. As soon as they smell weakness, they just punish. As Cruz with a great pass, Scott on the slide wins the point on the slide. Much better by Mallery, good decision by Fella.
Mallery haven't gone to that slide enough today. It's a swing, it's a shot that you can score against Durham on. The outsides for Durham are great passers, great attackers, not the best blockers in the world. And if you can get that slide working, you can beat this team.
Jaden Scott goes high, float serve, trying to change up the rhythm, and Allen shuts down the slide of Chloe Thomas. Again, Thomas working out of that stack. This time Allen stayed disciplined, gets her right hand to it, and gets her second block of this final. Again, Scott going high, trying to let the ball move in the air, and this time Chloe Thomas stays on the left side and fires it through 6 for the winner. As Jaden Scott having a quick chat on the bench coming out, that brings Ari Sierra back in as Allen finds Ali Ruffin, and there's going to be a centre line violation on Allen. Don't know how much Ruffin knew about it. I don't think it hit her in the head, which is probably fortunate because that ball was travelling.
Yeah, she managed to just get her head out of the way and pop it up with her shoulder, I think.
It was a dig for nothing as well. As Kellum, right side, 10 ball, clips the tape, and McCullough able to read it as Allen with the dig, Cruz and Fella neither able to attack as Hightower finds the Mallery defense again, but a free ball to work with for Durham, as this time Fella can't scrum. It wasn't the perfect set by Bullimer, but again Chloe Thomas discipline just to wait before jumping, let the ball travel a little bit more, let the legs do the work, and then able to pick down the shot that she wanted.
Yeah, that superior court vision again, just able to play with variety, make the life really hard for Mallery, and Durham are now just in cruise control.
Orarone picks up McCullough. Hightower! Again, Durham have done a really good job establishing the Ira Hightower in big moments. We talked about needing to protect Thomas and not allow Mallery to set up, and they've just got the ball enough to her to keep the Mallery middles interested. And Hightower has been efficient. That's her 6th kill of this final. As Allen goes line, misses the sideline, no, not by a lot, but this final feels over and the crowd needs something, and Mallery needs something to change, and they're going to talk it over. It's now or never.
I mean, they made the changes and they just haven't been able to come out and get any kind of purchase at the start of this set. You know, it's not working, and when Durham are in this kind of mood, it can go this way, because they're just playing in a way that makes life so hard for everyone else.
It's just been total consistency all season long. The weakness of Durham's game today, you're arguably talking about 5 service errors in 2 and a bit sets. That's as bad as Durham have been, and that says a lot about how consistent they are. 6 hitting errors on 31 kills for this Palatinates team right now, and this is why they're a few minutes away potentially from walking away with a perfect season. But stranger things have happened as Hightower beats Kellum, and Niara Hightower all of a sudden becoming efficient. Set a change from Mallery, Nebrega out, Fella in, but again it feels, it doesn't matter who's setting for Mallery right now. They're out of system, out on the 3-4 meter line consistently, and now it's a rotation fault to add insult to injury.
There's too much chaos, too much confusion. They're trying to do things,
taking risks,
but not the right way.
Yeah.
They're not thinking about how they're taking risks. They're just throwing stuff at a wall and hoping it sticks.
Maybe I would say it's the only way to beat Durham, but you're not beating Durham the way they're playing. So throw something different at it. As a roughing, blocked by Orone. McCullough with a nearly terrific pickup, but that one sailing well beyond the baseline and not there, and Mallery enjoy that one as they need something in a hurry. And Gabby Nebrega will have a chance. Has been one of Mallory's better servers throughout the season. This time again trying to go short, but Hightower gets out the way, and Thomas doesn't punish. But it's a much a free ball. They were trying to serve it at Hightower. We've seen that kind of, you talked about it early in set 1, that's what they were trying to do, but when you don't pull it off straight down the Lib's throat isn't what you need.
Yeah, I mean, Bullimer there wasn't a great set, and Thomas should have done better with it, but you know, it's another free ball, perfect pass. Durham put it away. You have to serve tough. You're not going to score. You're not going to beat this Durham team by just lobbing free ball serves over the net. You have to go back. You have to try and pin them deep. You have to try and take the middle out of the game and load up on Chloe Thomas and hope the outsides don't beat you. It's the only way. It's easier said than done, though. I've had 4 chances and we didn't get it done. So
well, no one has. Ruffin picks out Cruz in the back row. It's interesting that Cruz isn't always in the serve-receive unit, as Kellum denied, but back on the Mallery side. Allen inside ball, and that's maybe the adjustment, right? We talked about how good Durham have been getting to the pins. We talked about Chloe Thomas being really aggressive and elite when the ball's not all the way out wide. Maybe that's the angle that opens up some outside hand tips, that maybe you just set a little bit more inside and bring your outsides through, as Bullimer rescues that one. It's a beautiful ball for Raylene Jones. That quick middle is not natural for Raylene Jones, but she's done a really good job picking this up.
Yeah, I mean, it's a slightly slower tempo because she jumps so high, that ball has to have a little bit more air on it, and that's working in her favour. Mallery have to start overloading the right side of the net here. Lots of slide, lots of Kellum when she's in the front row. That's how you beat this Durham team. It's the biggest weakness from them from a blocking perspective, is to go after that right side of the court. And unless Mallery start doing that, they aren't going to work their way back in this game.
As Sierra, rare opportunity for her in serve receive. Not the best set for Cruz, but she's made to make something of it as Oyorone gets a touch. Allen has to scramble. Bullimer and Cruz together. It's coming back on the Mallery side. It's Kellum off 1 foot. Beautiful swing. And Mallery earned the free ball. They have to put this one away, you feel, if they want to stay in the final. And there's a net touch by Cruz. That's just a killer.
Yeah, you're in a positive situation. You have an opportunity to score to win a point here, and you don't. And that is the story of the game so far, really, for Mallery.
Again, Durham able to get a big block touch. Ruffin this time finds a block touch of her own. Kellum, right side. Gets the block out from Ruffin, and that's Claire Kellum at her best on that right pin. As Oyorone miss. Oh no! Line judge says in.
It was definitely out.
I agree it was out, but that's the point Mallery are making, and they're right to make it.
The line judge wasn't in the right position to see down that line.
Because they're looking at foot fault.
I'm pretty sure that Rich Burbage, the second referee, has made that call on the microphone across.
Yep.
And it's a great officiating decision, because it was definitely out.
I was about to say that Oyorone isn't the best server on this Mallery team, and comes through with the service here as Allen sends Nebrega scrambling. Cruz squeezes it over. Decker does a really good job getting to it, but Thomas from the 10, that's going out, but played by Kellum. And Allen a little bit passive from the pipe. Cruz makes a meal of it, wanting the block touch, but you're not getting that, and Jojo Cruz not able to make an impact off the Mallery bench.
Starting to see some of the frustration now coming into this from Mallery. They're just not able to find any way through. And
I mean, you've only got 2 players that haven't played in this final. You're not going to bring Ari out, so the only option left that hasn't made an impact is Aaliyah Raffert, as Allen pushes another one wide. And this final is just escaping in a hurry. We're less than an hour in, and Durham are 10 points away from their 3rd piece of silverware. Some would argue a 4th. As Jones on her favoured right side goes for the high hands up the block, gets it. And now Jefferson Williams is looking at the bench. Nebrega and Cruz haven't worked, so back comes Fella and McCall.
Credit to Jefferson, he's got to try and roll the dice again and keep trying to go until you find something, but it's going to take an incredible effort, especially there. To me, you can't come off the bench and not be ready to pass that ball. If I see someone come off the bench, you're going to serve them. They're coming off cold. You have to be in a position where you're going to step in and pass that ball. You have to go out and just go out and make a pass.
Going to say it means they've got options to which way they put in the passing unit, and it was definitely McCall in it and not Kellum. Chloe Allen makes a hash of that one, and Ali Ruffin out of the Citadel has had such an impactful season. As this time Sierra leaves it. As Bullimer, Jones, easy as you like. Again, no service pressure, Durham clinical. Again, as much as it's clinical, they're doing it in so many variety of ways. That time, Jones basically playing as a pure opposite. That's not a slide, that's just a right side attack for your middle.
Yeah, tough when, as a middle blocker, you get held and there's no middle on the other side of the court. It's a lovely slide swing, cutting that ball back across the block.
As McCall finds Decker, who's not stood out in his final, but she also hasn't put a foot wrong, as Fella can't scramble to save the block touch. And Durham are 5 points away. As Bullimer flat serve, McCall this time steps in. Mallery not on the same page, so McCall has to go late from the pipe. Thomas, Fella, able to get there, but this time Chloe Thomas just annihilates it. Allen late to it and late to the party. Jefferson hands in her heads, and no wonder why. That's the best hit ball we've seen all day.
I don't know what the priority for the block is though for Mallery. They keep moving towards the outsides when Chloe Thomas is the most dangerous person on the court.
And now the question is, do Mallery get to double digits? As Bullimer hits the tape over past McCall. Hightower goes to the set. That wouldn't have been legal a year ago, but obviously a lot more flexible on the rules, as Scott is denied on the slide, but Mallery still have control of the ball no longer, as Hightower has to tip over. But again, just not a good set. Free ball for Durham to work with. It's McCullough setting, and the block touch. 9 out of 10 times Mallery get to that, but not today. As Decker, sharp angle, can't find the floor. McCall from the pipe. It's Mallery team defending champions, but not for long, as Sierra and Allen combine for the over, and Decker goes line. Kellum, high hands, corrals out of bounds. So match points for Durham, and Chloe Thomas nails it. Mallery Eagles 8 points, and Durham Palatinates complete the perfect season. Bucks champion, Final Four champion, the regular season champions, and they top it off in style with a dominant National Cup final. 3-0 over the defending champions. And they rightly will walk away with the clean sweep, as Paul Welsh's son sprints onto court for a hug. And you just can't say enough about this Durham team.
Just dominant from start to finish. They played with such great control, put pressure on Mallery when they needed to put pressure on, and just completely blew them away.
Stay with us, we've got medal presentations as well, and obviously a long break now before the men's National Cup final. We do need to give a quick mention about Mallery. It's been a disappointing year. It's a really rough way to go, losing 8 in the set, but ultimately they've got to regroup. This group of his spine's been here for so long, but this summer's got some question marks. Ari Sierra may not be back. Chloe Allen's obviously been around for so long. That university group, they have to restock and replenish.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of what they need to do next. If they need to either go younger, try and attract some younger athletes into the UEL program, or try and reload through that program to see where they can get to.
As yeah, we'll obviously get the thoughts of Paul Welsh to start with, and then obviously we will catch up with the MVP as well. And hopefully we can pull as Ali Ruffin's just getting pulled away to sign the score sheet. We need Paul now. Time. No, we have to go. And well, hopefully. And get the thoughts. As just waiting, and now we're getting the Durham shout, and then we will get the thoughts of the Durham coach, who's done a terrific job this season. Talk about Ross Enfield as well, but this coaching staff has been terrific. And we'll now head downstairs to Jess, who's with our winning coach of the Durham
I'm here
Palatinates.
with head coach Paul Welsh after that enormous victory. So congratulations. How are you feeling?
Delighted for the players that deserve it. They absolutely do. The word flawless has been shot around a lot online, social media. We've been keeping an eye on that. We haven't been using that term in-house, but it's nice to actually get the job done.
I think we've said a few times on the podcast something like unstoppable, formidable, big team. So yeah, you guys have done the triple this year, and you've done it in an undefeated fashion. I know you did the triple a couple of years ago as well. So how does it feel to do it with an unblemished record?
Yeah, it feels great. It's a special group of players, as you've seen all year. It's not just the 6 that are on the court, it's all 14, 15, 16 of them. I'm really gutted for Ellie. She's been injured the second half of the season, so she's missed out, and she really deserves to be on court, as we all do. It's tough, but it's been brilliant. It's been a pleasure to coach them. And yeah, I haven't done much coaching. I've just been stood watching volleyball most of the year. It's been brilliant.
Fair enough. Well, looking forward to seeing you guys here next season. Congratulations again, and we'll throw it back up to the commentary booth. So thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jess. There with Paul Welsh, saying not much coaching, but actually really good point for Paul Welsh to mention someone we kind of lost in the storyline. We talked about in the pre-game, but Durham did this arguably without their best middles. You see Paul Welsh there with his son, who obviously made the trip down, but Elizabeth Schrader was so impactful in the first half of the year, was right up there as one of the better middles, but the fact that Durham were just able to replace, and it didn't look like they missed a beat.
Yeah, I mean, this model that they have it has that depth, it brings that depth in, it gives them the best opportunity to come out here and be successful when they're able to recruit like this, like they have done. And I think, all credit to Paul and Ross, they've got the right people on court at the right times, and that's harder than people think it is to do.
It is, and he said it there. He doesn't have to do much coaching, but in a way you have to do more coaching when just in a different variety, when you've got depth in the squad, you've got ability all around the court, that you've got to make the right decisions. You've got to put the right people onto court. The decision to move True McCullough into the starting lineup over Gianna Giombi, like for example, is high-level coaching, that you have to make the right decisions and it stick, but also build the chemistry and belief within the team that when you make changes, they're not going to lose a lot.
Yeah, and it could have gone either way after that opening weekend game against Darkstar. 2 sets down, and everyone was thinking, what's going on here? And they are able to turn. They made a big change in that game. They brought Maura Hayes in and let her start as the setter for the third and fourth set in that game, and that brought them back. And that was a huge moment for them. So, I think there's been some really great coaching from those guys all year.
As we now get set for our presentations. Our presentation party for this Women's National Cup final, Rowena Hackwood and Alison Shipway. And Charlie Ford also out there as well to help out the CEO. And our first people to come get the medals, and again, it takes 3 teams to do the final, and again, maybe 1 or 2 calls we maybe weren't sure about, but apart from that, a perfectly refereed final by Katerina Sepnova and Richard Burbridge.
Yeah, I mean, both of them have had big game experience this year. You know, Rich did the men's Bucks final and did a good job there. You know, Katerina was involved with the Final Four and did a really good job there as well. They're both, you know, Katerina's been out European games. Yeah, both of them did a really good job here today.
And now the Mallery team getting their runners-up medals. Chloe Allen, Ari Sierra holding the eagle, which generally means the internal Mallery MVP. That eagle's definitely done some miles this season on the road. And if that is Ari's last game, she'll be fondly remembered by a lot of the club. Number 2, Gabby Nebrega, who was battling an injury at the back end of the season. Number 6, Jaden Scott. Number 8, Emily Feller, who's had a definitely grown throughout the season. Number 9, McKenna McCall. Number 11, Claire Kellum. Number 12, Jojo Cruz. Number 15, Ava Kulalek. Number 18, V. Oraroin. Number 20, Aaliyah Raffet, who's done a lot for us behind the scenes on Super League Live this year. It was great to have her insight at Final Four as a courtside reporter as well. And number 23, Paddy Cope. And of course the Mallery coaching staff, Ian Legrand, Carol Gordon, Andrew Omashemi, Sophia Omashemi on the bench as well, and of course Jefferson Williams. And they will head back south, empty-handed in the trophy department, but still a silver medal. And they'll be looking to bounce back next season. And now the champions come to get their medals. Number 18, Ali Ruffin. Just such an integral part, and you heard Paul Welch talk about it season as a leader.
Yeah, I just think this whole Durham team has been full of leaders, and you know, when one has a bad game, someone else steps up. Just such a high-level team. They've played at a high level all year.
And then the rest of the team for the Durham Palatinates: True McCullough, Vinci in the libero position. Number 1, Niara Hightower, a big final through the middle as well. It was great for Durham to add her back into the lineup late in the year. Number 3, Hannah Liverman, normally a serving sub, didn't get an opportunity today, but they didn't need her. Number 5, Chloe Thomas. Number 6, Sarah Hall. Number 10, Izzy Decker, who was terrific in the serve-receive unit. Number 14, Natasha Frost. Number 17, Raylene Jones. Number 19, Elena Bullimer. Number 21, Mariana Payne. Number 22, Kea Jefferson. Number 23, Jenna Giombi. And number 28, Maura Hayes. And that Durham staff: Elizabeth Schrader out with injury, Ross Enfield, and of course head coach Paul Welsh picking up yet another medal. And Alex, the MVP, not an easy decision, but we talked about her in the pre-game. We talked about her. And Ellie Bullimer, just so integral for this Durham offense.
Just made the right decision every single time she touched the ball today. Made a huge number of digs, had a couple of aces as well with that left-handed float serve. But this offense isn't as good as it is without her in there running it. I think the one time they wobbled in this game was when they made the double sub. Just a phenomenal talent who's played so well for this team all year, and this is richly deserved.
And one last thing for this Durham season. They've got the MVP trophy now. They've got the Final Four, and the Durham Palatinates now have the National Cup. Now here, courtside, after a dance party, what has become a Durham tradition with our MVP. We caught up in the week. I said I might see you Saturday afternoon. Congratulations. How nice a feeling is it to have the undefeated season and go home with yet more silverware?
I think it's just super rewarding. We worked so hard all season, every single one of them. We've been a great team, and I think just ending it on this note is the best thing ever, and we're super happy.
And talk about the final. You said starting quick was going to be important. You knew Mallery was going to come out, but once you got that first set, it just felt like it all just clicked for you, and it felt like every decision and every choice you made today came off.
Yeah, I think, the whole season we kind of focused on playing our game, and I think after the first set we kind of got going, and we continued to kind of put our game on the floor. Everyone did their job and did what they were supposed to be doing, so that was super fun.
We talked about it in the week, we mentioned it, you heard Chloe talk about it as well. This group, a group that barely knew each other in September, different places around the world have all come together. How much credit do you have to give to the coaching staff, but more importantly your teammates?
Yeah, I mean, look around. I think it's so obvious that we all love each other, and we're so much more than a team. I think we're family. Like, I don't have to say anything. I mean, this is all it is. This is what it's about. It's so much more than volleyball, and it's been so fun. And yeah, I love these Yes, girls, and the coaches.
Well, I'm sure glad you got that and you rescued that one, but obviously not quite done for you. We talked about it. You got one more you want to go get. How much is it going to be enjoyable to kick the shoes off and head to the beach to finish your Durham career?
Well, I mean, the weather's getting better, so it's hopefully going to be a little warmer outside in the sun. We're not done yet. We have one more title to win, and we're going to be full focused on that. So, but for now, we celebrate. So.
I don't want to ask what the celebration on the bus is going to be, but congratulations on the season. You are our MVP and the Women's National Cup champion.
Thank you so much.
They're the thoughts of your MVP, Ella Bullimer. We're going to wrap it up here. We're going to be back in about an hour as the London Giants will take on the Mallery Eagles in the men's final. But from the broadcast team, thank you and we'll see you soon.